So a ball is projected vertically upwards. A ball is projected vertically upwards. And what is the graph of this ball moving up and coming back to the same position? How would the graph look like? That's a question. And before we answer the question, let us try to understand this. First one, what kind of a graph is this? If you look at the graph, the velocity keeps on increasing as time passes, and then it reaches a maximum value and then keeps on decreasing. So this is nothing but you take a car, and in that car, if you start moving, you take a car and you go to high speed up to, you start from zero velocity and then go to 80 kilometer per hour speed, and then you apply brakes, and from 80 kilometer to you come back to zero. So this is a kind of motion referred by this graph. And here, this is from here to the next part. You are already moving with some, say, 80 or 120 kilometer per hour speed, and then slowly you are coming to rest, and then again you pick up speed to reach up to the same 120 kilometer per hour. So that kind of a graph is this. But when you look at this, the same thing of this, but in the opposite direction. Here you are going towards east, means here this graph refers to you are moving towards west. So obviously the difference between these two isn't much. The only thing is they are in the opposite directions. But we can say through intuition, not through intuition, by analyzing these three graphs without getting actually what the graph is, by ruling out these three options, you can say that this is the answer. But if you don't know to visualize this, you look at the situation. You are throwing a ball, the ball moves upwards and reaches the maximum height, and then it comes back. So during half of the journey, the ball goes upwards. During half of the journey, the ball comes downwards. So the ball has a positive velocity as well as a negative velocity. So let's look at it. And here when it goes up, the body keeps on decreasing its speed and then it keeps on increasing. Let us say you are just throwing this ball with 40 meter per second speed. If 40 meter per second speed, let us try to visualize this 40 meter per second speed. And acceleration due to gravity is 10 meter per second square. That means every second the velocity will decrease by 10. From 40, after 1 second it becomes 30. After one more second it becomes 20. After one more second it becomes 10, and then finally it is 0. And then now during the downward journey, velocity is 10 downwards, next one more second 20 downwards, next one more second 30 downwards, and then finally 40 downwards. So if you take this graph, let's say this is the y-axis and this is the time axis. Initially velocity is upward 40 when it begins. So at time t equal to 0, when you throw this ball, the velocity is 40 meter per second upward. So that's why I'm referring to in the positive y-axis. Next 1 second, the velocity becomes 30, but it is still going upwards. So after 1 second, the velocity is 30 and still going upward. After 2 seconds, the velocity is 20, but the object is going upward. So it is after 2 seconds, 20. Then after 3 seconds, the velocity is 10, but it is still going upward. So it is positive 10. And then finally at the highest point, at the 4th second, the object is at the highest point, its velocity is 0. The 4th second, the velocity is 0. And then 5th second, 10 meter per second, but the object is coming down. So the velocity is negative. So the direction of motion has changed. So 5th second, the velocity is minus 10. 6th second, minus 20, and then minus 30. If you connect all that, you will get a graph which is a straight line. During the first 4 seconds, the object's velocity is actually positive, that is going upwards. During the next 4 seconds, object's velocity is negative because it is coming downwards, but it is a straight line from here to here. Here it is assumed that upward journey is a positive direction, downward journey is a negative direction. So our option is C.